optimized for any one job is sufficient for a huge number of jobs. And instead of these difficult environments on other planets or in space, we're looking at the difficult environments on Earth with RoboSimian.
One of the interesting aspects of our design is its modularity. We use the same actuator design at every joint. So while we have 28 actuators plus an additional 2 for the casters on the back, so 30 actuators on the entire robot, they're all the same design. And this makes it very easy to build up and maintain from a systems point of view.
The strengths of our team, both here at JPL and at Caltech and at UC Santa Barbara and at Stanford, is that we have an enormous amount of experience with robotics that are very similar to what we're trying to build.
We also are probably one of the smallest teams competing in the DRC. We're very streamlined. By doing so, everybody gets a tremendous amount of ownership.
We set out to build a very deliberate robot. For that reason, RoboSimian is, unlike a humanoid system, entirely predicated around the idea that it's going to be stable at all times. It's basically the tortoise relative to the hare. And it'll be very interesting to see how those two ends of the robotic solution spectrum play out in the competition.
Our design will win the robotics challenge because we're practical. We know our limits. We're going after what we can do. What JPL has built is a robot that can interact in a human world, but is not constrained by human design.
It has been an interesting afternoon already here at the DARPA Robotics Challenge. Kevin Cork with you once again, everybody. We've been hopping in and out of the garage areas. Our chance to touch base, that is, with Katie Bill. And listen, for us, it's been kind of fun because this is the exciting part of the day. How have things looked so far, and what challenges have you seen for RoboSimian?
Well, this year, I think we've had some challenges in that the first day we've had so many tasks that might possibly break the robot. So this is the first one we've actually run today, but I think it's it's a strong point for RoboSimian certainly on that rough terrain.
RoboSimian has been very impressive in the early going. I'm curious about the number of hours that it takes just to get to this particular point in the competition.
Oh, well, yeah. We've certainly been working at full speed and overtime for as long as the DRC has been going, and this contest has come a lot sooner than anybody was really prepared for.
Let me ask you, what has made you happiest about this robot that you've been able to bring to the competition?
I think it's flexibility. It really is designed to be able to do all the tasks that we have at the DRC. Even though we didn't see it drive and climb the ladder this morning, I'm sure you're going to see that next year. And the stability that it has by having such a broad platform, you can see it's kind of night and day when it crosses that terrain of what kind of speed it can achieve.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you're not just here performing, you're also here learning a great deal about the robots themselves.
Yes, yeah, we certainly are, and it's an amazing opportunity just to see what everyone else has done and to think about what it's going to be like next year for all the teams.
Let me ask you about that. As you watch passively or sometimes very directly what some of your competitors have been able to do, are you able to glean ideas at all, or maybe reinforce ideas that you all have had and say, yep, that's how we would do it too?
Well, a lot of the robots are very humanoid in form. We've taken, more of this quadrupedal approach. I think there's the best of both worlds there. Certainly, it's impressive what everyone else has done. RoboSimian's a little bit unique, so I'm not sure how much we're going to borrow from any of the other robots.
But there's no question RoboSimian is truly unique. I want to ask you, though, Katie, before we wrap up, especially as a researcher, as a scientist, and the need is there to get not just all young people, but in particular young women involved in the sciences and robotics. What message would you have for them as they perhaps watch this telecast and hopefully